Guys, and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I have set myself a little bit of a different challenge to some of my usual videos, and I'm going to be photographing with 3 random objects on a beauty shoot. So just before we start, you might realize that I'm filming in a different area of my house. I usually film in my garage, but this morning I went in there and there was a huge huntsman spider on the wall, and I was just like, I'm not doing that today. So I'm filming in my dining room instead. I've done my best considering the circumstances today, especially with lighting and everything else. So I hope that's okay with you guys. So moving into this video, this week I actually went to the supermarket and bought some really random items that I thought might be interesting to photograph with. I thought about setting myself a challenge where I picked some random stuff off the shelves and I actually tried to photograph with it on a beauty shoot. So that's exactly what I've done this week, and I'm going to show you guys what I've actually picked up from the supermarket. So first off, we have these tiny little diamond gems, and I thought this would be a challenge because usually when you're shooting with prisms, they're a little bit bigger and they'll tend to reflect light and things differently in camera, and probably a lot better than a smaller crystal like this. So I thought that might be a little bit of a challenge to see what I could come up with in some photographs. I've used these for a couple of photos, and for most of these objects I have just been holding them in front of the camera to create different effects, to create different framing, and just to try and be creative as possible with them. So that was my first object this week. My second object this week was these weird little toothpicks that I think are kind of for like table settings or for maybe food, to stick in food. To be honest, I just went through the party aisle at my local supermarket and just went wild. So these were kind of cool because they've got like that iridescent kind of effect to them. And I thought I could grip onto the toothpick to use this in front of the camera and really reflect the light in some different ways. And I love iridescent things. So that was another object that I used this week and I thought could be quite effective. And then lastly, I used this really big table setting thing. Obviously these are used for parties and for celebrations, but I thought this would be really cool to use around the camera lens and to kind of shoot through, which is what I did this week. So those are my 3 objects that I've used for the week, and I'm going to show you guys the behind the scenes footage now of each photo shoot that I did and how I used each object in those photo shoots. I actually really enjoyed doing this week, so if you guys feel like this might be cool for an ongoing series, or maybe in future you guys could recommend something that I could use on a particular shoot or give me that challenge yourselves, that might be something interesting to continue on with doing in terms of a series. I'm going to get straight into the behind the scenes now and show you guys how I actually photographed using these random items and show you the end result with the photographs both edited and unedited as well. The first object I used for the shoot was crystals. I mainly photographed using the crystals by holding them quite close to the lens because they were so small. I really needed to get them up very close to the lens so it legitimately didn't look like I was holding a crystal in front of the camera lens. The closer that I held it to the lens, the bigger the object ended up looking on camera, and it looked like more of a blur. You can kind of see some of my fingers though in some of the shots, and that's one thing that I did struggle with because they were quite small. So then I used this technique with actually getting the toothpicks that I showed you guys before and sticking a couple of crystals on the end so it was getting my fingers out of the way, and that actually worked pretty well. The second object that I used were the decorative toothpicks. I found that these worked best using them as more of a framing tool and kind of creating some different framing patterns with them, and I think it kind of made it a little bit more interesting and sort of draws you into the photo a little bit more by using them in this way. I did have to make sure that I was holding them at an angle towards the beauty dish that it was actually able to reflect the light, so you can actually catch that iridescent look. Otherwise, if I had them too far at the wrong angle, they would just blow out and look very overexposed and actually wouldn't pick up any of the color, as you can see in this top one here. The third object that I used was the table decoration. Now I found this actually quite easy to photograph with. The main way that I used it was by shooting through the object and kind of using it as you may do with a tree branch or some leaves and kind of framing the photo that way. It was really interesting to see what kind of patterns this would create, because at times if you held it a bit closer to the camera lens, it tended to look very blurry and kind of dreamy. If you held it a little bit further away, it would give that really glittery, sparkly feel to the object. So it actually created a lot of different looks in various ways with using it. So I hope you guys really enjoyed the images and really enjoyed this video this week. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please click the subscribe button and the notification bell to make sure you see all the videos that I have coming up in future. As I said, if you really like this video and you think I should do more of these types of videos, or maybe you guys can suggest some objects that I can shoot with in future for my photo shoots, then please let me know down in the comments section below. I don't even know if there was a real point to this video. I just thought it could be fun to kind of set myself this challenge this week and do something a little bit different for my channel, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much again for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!